Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And first off, there is a small manual update to the game. If you go into the iOS shop or the Google Play Store, you could choose to update your game. As you can see, we have a new title intro. It's the OP for Season 3, and the game logo has been updated to reflect the 2.5 anniversary. Doesn't look like anything else was added. Obviously tomorrow night, or sorry, tomorrow morning, literally 23 hours from now, the banner will drop. So that's cool. And there's a little bit of content to be updated here, 62.9 megs. The data mine already confirmed that there's really nothing in here except for some visual changes. Nothing impactful or important as far as I'm concerned. But I was wondering what would happen this morning, and they went ahead and did it. So yesterday we got the skill preview for the space unit, right? And earlier in the day we got just a bunch of question marks, and then at the end of the day they gave us the first skill, the alt buff, and then the pierce power for their self goes up by 15%. And because this unit is on Primal Demon Schemer Fount of Wisdom, we are assuming that it is Blanc, since she is the only other Primal Demon besides Diablo, who is already a unit, who is on Fount of Wisdom. But 2 hours ago, 4 o'clock, they gave us another one, which now 100% confirms that this is a double featured unit banner. Two new units, and if we look just immediately, it's an Earth unit. The Forgotten Team, the Forgotten Element, finally gets a new character. And Primal Demon, Stern of Spirit, Warrior's Mind. So, guess who's the only other Primal Demon on Warrior's Mind that we could get? Oh, I don't know. Who would make a lot of sense to release alongside a Blanc? Oh, yeah, it's probably the other waifu, right? So we open up Primal Demon. Blanc is on Fount of Wisdom. Awesome. What's Guy on? Oh, he's on Warrior's Mind. Okay, awesome. Well, Autogram Demon Lord Primal Demon. All right. Well, let's check one more thing out. Warrior's Mind. Jean. And one more thing. Guess who already has an EX Earth unit that's physical? Guy. So that now 100% eliminates him from the pool. We are getting a new version of Blanc and Jean literally tomorrow, less than 24 hours from now. And that, I think, is very, very good. And very, very much strong waifu bait. Because obviously, like, I'm a fan of Blanc. I don't know much about her, but I'm a fan of her. That's why she's 120. Jean is also very good. Jean is still good on this team to this day with 170% alt buff. But let's take a look at what that actual skill preview says, right? Let's open this tab up and let's zoom in. She has two 80-point skills. Not a cheap lady. Her second skill decreases the skill cost by 100 for Vanguard allies. Cannot go below each skill's initial cost. And then Awakened skill increases skill points by 300 after 8 turns from the start of battle. And you can only use this skill once. So, the thing about how I would be afraid if this second zero cost skill was the really crappy skill reset that second anniversary Shizu had. Yeah, well that's out the door. Thank God for that. So this skill is not going to be on Space Blanc. Why? Because it's going to be on Earth Jean. It's going to be on Earth Jean. And that, I think, is very, very nice. So if we take a look, Shizu, decrease the skill cost by 20 for Vanguard allies. Cannot go below each skill's cost. Decreases the skill cost by 100. That means if you use, say, these 0-point skills, right, 5 times, so 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 6 times, that's a 100 skill point cost right there, is what it goes up to, right? Is what it leads up to. There's a lot of points to be had there, 20 plus 40 plus 60 plus 80 plus 100. But if you are resetting it by 100 and bringing it back down to zero cost, and then you just do it again because it gives you 300 points. Well, technically 220 because it costs 80 to use, right? But if you're going to get a free 220 skill points and you've reset both of these skills, which now I assume that this second skill is now some kind of other stacking buff, then this Blanc is going to go nutty with damage. And it also means that this Earth Jean is going to be nigh irreplaceable for any stacking team in the future. I mean, regardless of what this skill is. Like, if you're going to reset skill costs and give me 300 points, I mean, yeah, you're going to take up a battle slot. So if this 80-point skill isn't some kind of generic support buff, then, I mean, yeah, that would kind of suck. But, I mean, if we think about it, you put this on, say, the Ainsmaru team, you put this on Visions of Coleus. I mean, that eliminates a lot of RNG because, you don't have enough points on turn 8 because it's limited by Violet or Lumi's, 50-point a turn cap, and you're only up to 400, but you only have 300, you only have 400 points, and you need 450 or something to full nuke. I mean, if this 80-point skill is just a super generic, like, weakness strike for like 150% or something like that, something crazy because it's 80 point and they want to give it hype, or if it's 150% alt damage and they push the old Jean out of here, which I think is possible. I mean, they want you to be running a physical meta, and if they're gonna make a new Jean, they may just make another alt buffer. There's high chance that they don't because they want the Jean to still be useful. So if this is like weakness strike or element buff for like a stupid amount, because if we look at Diablo, right, he's got for 80 points, he's got guaranteed pierce and then 100% physical buff for Primal Demon Commander. So what they could do with an 80-point skill here, like they could give it 100% element buff, right? All element buff, kind of like how second anniversary Hinata does, and put her, make her the big time version of that skill. They could give it a 100% weakness strike, or actually higher than that, because we already have units that do 100% weakness strike, right? Shizu, I have on my team right now, and she gives that plus alt resistance down. So I mean, this could be like alt resistance down and weakness strike for a physical unit. It could be just this skill right here. There are a lot of different things that this 80-point skill could do, but if it synergizes well with, Blanc and her stacking buffs, Diablo with his big time buff, Misery with her stacking Pierce debuff and Orb change, and if, say, she doesn't replace the old Jean, and you're gonna have 170% alt damage plus the space resistance down already, then I mean, there's not too many other things they could do, honestly, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's going to mean that she's going to have a lot of value on any future stacking team, regardless if it's blue or green, right? You could put this on any stacking team. Doesn't matter. Everyone's going to benefit from having your skill cost lowered by 100. And you could use this whenever. So, I mean, even if your team doesn't need 300 skill points, you could just use the skill willy-nilly. Like, you know what? I don't want my stuns to cost 100 points. I want my Geiston to go back to 25 in one turn. Well, here you go. Here you go. I want to use Shizuka 4 more times. Or maybe or so. Yeah, Shizuka, right? We use both her skills. She's got 10% alt resistance down. She's got 20% weakness strike. They both get reset from 100 back down to 25. You get 220 skill points. Okay. Oh, this team is gonna go nutty. But it is awesome that we have now been confirmed to be getting 2 new units on the same banner, which then keeps us in line with the calendar release that tomorrow will be the double featured banner, and then this week we'll start Jubilee. The meta will switch over on the 25th, and the 25th will have a triple featured unit banner. One protector, two battle units on one banner. And that should also be whatever a super Isekai Revelry is, right? Because, if this is super Isekai Revelry Part 1, there's going to be another part at least. So, yeah, I'm pretty intrigued by this, and the fact that we get another goddamn Earth unit. Maybe, maybe the meme is dead, and we can finally have an Earth unit who uses this goddamn Earth Spear all the way the fuck down here. Where is it? This thing that they gave out for the very first Tempered Edge stage, and not one single Earth unit has ever actually used an Earth Spear, right? They gave it away for this, the very first Tempered Edge stage. None of the characters that came out during this meta were used a spear. And no other Earth characters that have ever come out since then have used an Earth Spear. And I think the devs are aware of that, and I think they're just going to continue it. And it's going to be like, haha, we messed up. Here's a funny. But maybe we get an Earth Spear user. I don't know. It'd be hilarious if they did. It'd also be kind of funny if they didn't, and they just kept it going. But yeah, two featured units, Warrior's Mind, Fount of Wisdom. It matches up perfectly to Blanc and Jean. We've got a 0 cost stacking nuker. We've got an 80 cost, reset all of my costs back down to 0 on my stacking nuker skill, and give me enough points to actually use those stacks again. This team is going to be hilarious. So I'm pretty hyped up. Again, this will start literally tomorrow. It is 6:10 in the morning for me. I woke up early because I was wondering if they would do this, and they certainly did. So in 22 hours and 50 minutes, we will be summoning. And in 21 hours and 50 minutes, the live stream will start. So we have a lot coming within 24 hours from now. And I'm going to be so goddamn tired tomorrow because it's going to be a live stream at 4 and then immediately going into summons and then recording at least these two characters. I mean, and God knows what else they announced during Tuesday. I mean, we're going to have those skill fusions for the Octagram units, right? What the fuck is that going to do? That's been announced already here. Addition of skill fusion and valor trait to Octagram Demon Lord characters. We talked about that yesterday. So I don't know, guys, but it's gonna be a blasty blast. I hope they bring good stuff into this. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know what do you think this second 80-point skill would be, and now what do you think this 0 cost skill is gonna be? Now that we have the skill reset, what does this change to in your mind? Let me know. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I will see you all bright and early tomorrow morning.